So today we're going to be looking at the rust on this section of the rear window of the MGB, and we're going to make a panel to go over here. We're going to cut straight across down here, straight across down here and down here, and remove this section altogether, and then we're going to put a new panel in there and we're going to show how it's made and what you need to do. So I've started by making a cardboard template which we're now going to put onto a CAD drawing, and this gives us the opportunity to plug weld it on, or we can cut the entire shape out and actually weld that end in place, and we'll see how we get on and decide at the point whether the metal is thick enough to plug weld on, or maybe we cut some sections and plug weld others. And this is the CAD drawing of the panel that we need to replace, and we've got a curvature, as you can see, that follows the arch, but it doesn't need to be that curve, it could be cut straight. And on this pattern we have all the holes and the fold lines that we need to put on there for either plug welding on or for literally just cutting and welding directly in place. And this is it seen from the other side, so you can see that we've got a section that needs to be folded out, which we'll do with the vise, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So stick it onto a bit of metal with some spray mount, and then just simply cut it out. When you get it to this stage, you can either punch the holes in around the perimeter, but not necessarily the ones that are going to go into the window section. Leave those till last, they're probably best off being drilled, to be honest. On this unit though, we haven't followed the curve on the bottom of the panel, we followed the straight line because I'm going to cut this straight in and we're not going to have any overlap joints, so none of the holes on here are going to be relevant for us. So I've punched out this area here, which finishes off the inner section. As I said, none of the holes that we're not going to use any of the holes that we've printed on here, because none of this is going to be plug welded. It's literally going to be cut along all the sides and welded in place where the other part was. So now we need to go and do the folding of this section here, and we'll do that in the vise and I'll show you how it's done. So now you can see the shape actually appearing on the back. And that is how you make a curved section without any special tools, just a hammer. You might need a little bit more, but sometimes you've got to quit while you're ahead, because obviously the metal's getting very thin around this section whereupon it's stretched so much. But we'll do the other folds and and check what it looks like on the car. Right, and there you have the final piece. So what we've got to do now is cut out the section. Actually on the car there is a slight curve in this piece as well, but I think we should be able to form that once it's actually on the car, because it's not that strong, this piece. Once it's welded obviously it will be strong. The curve is actually across this section here, so we'll fabricate that part on the car when we're done. So as you can see, that actually now fits the car. Like I said, there is a curve in this wall, or on this bracket, that needs to be on this bracket, but we'll clamp it up and see if the clamps can't take that curve into this part of the section, so that it all fits nicely. And as I said before, there are plug weld points on this, whereupon we could have plug welded it on, but all I'm going to do is just score along the lines that need cutting, cut that out completely, and we're going to put this bracket in place of it. Right, as you can see, that's now fitted in place, and what we're going to do is put a few tack welds around the bottom and then bend the top section out to create this curve that it has. Right, so as you can see, it's actually tacked in place. There's more of weld up here because this actually needs to be curved, this section. So what I'm going to do start now is this section here should be curved round, and so we're going to start actually hammering this section, see if we can not get this to actually lay flatter than it is at the moment, and then we'll go around and fill up the rest of the weld. Right, so after some additional hammering, we've pretty much got the curve that we need. I've had to put the lip back into the window which was cut out earlier. Just temporarily fitted that in to actually close it in, and now we're going to just weld up the rest of it. It doesn't need to look brilliantly because it's going behind a cover panel as such, but we'll just finish up putting a few more welds on it and then come back and show you. Right, so that's now fully welded in place, and we'll give it a quick rub down with a wire brush and get some primer on that to stop it from going rusty. But the template from this can be downloaded from our website, Acetek, and I'll put a link in the bottom of the description so that you can download this and manufacture this part for yourself.